Hello and welcome back to the Advanced Olympic Distance training plan from Scientific Triathlon. This is week 16 and it's the final week of our aerobic capacity block. The week looks a bit different than the previous weeks in that this week we're actually focusing on higher intensities and shorter durations. So basically short high intensity intervals rather than long ones. And this is for a number of reasons, primarily just because those even higher intensities are useful for an added stimulus of muscle fiber recruitment and getting even more of those fast twitch fibers to play along and not sit out an entire season, so to say. So that's something that is always useful to make sure that you keep all of your fibers in the pool of available fibers to work with. The week definitely isn't easy per se, but it should be slightly less demanding than the previous couple of weeks because volume is slightly lower. We're at 14 hours this week with a range from 12 hours 10 to 16 hours 10 depending on adjustable durations. And in addition to that lower volume, so we were at 16 hours the last few weeks, the nature of these short intervals takes something like the 30 seconds on, 15 seconds off. That is hard work, absolutely, but it's generally not seen as quite as hard as those 4-minute intervals and the like that you have been doing in previous weeks. So that's something to be cheerful about. Also, you get a couple of really easy days with just an easy optional ride on Monday and a short swim and run on Tuesday to basically freshen up, and you should feel that by the time you get into Wednesday, you should be quite good and motivated to go, feel fresh and everything. Don't hesitate to drop the optional ride if you feel that might be needed so that you really get all of that freshness level back and the motivation as well if needed. And similarly, as always, if you feel that shortening some workouts might actually be beneficial for you, then don't hesitate to do that. The plan is a tool that you should use to get yourself to the best possible performance level. All right. And one thing to note about the weekly structure is that in the previous weeks in the aerobic capacity blocks, we've had one interval workout each in swimming, biking, and running. And this week we actually have 2 bike intervals. So we have the Wednesday bike interval run workout and the Sunday bike interval workout. So you have a total of 4 high intensity interval workouts with the swim on the Thursday and the run on the Saturday as well. And this is quite a demanding challenge for many. And if you feel that might be too much for you, perhaps you know that you generally need a little bit more recovery time, then feel free to skip that second bike or turn the second bike into an endurance ride, I should say. But I do think that for a lot of athletes, this schedule is completely doable because, as I said, you get the 2 days of the week at the beginning to really, really recover and freshen up. And then the nature of these intervals, as I said, not quite as demanding as the ones you've had in the last 3 weeks, plus volume just generally being slightly lower. So combine that with just general good habits around sleep and nutrition, and you may surprise yourself by the fact that you can actually do 4 high intensity workouts in 5 days in this block. And it's the last week of aerobic capacity, and then we head into a deload week plus a race specificity from next week. So again, might be one of those where you decide that you give yourself a chance to kind of see what you're made of and try to get all 4 of them done. But again, if you feel that you need that little bit of extra recovery, don't hesitate to take that second bike interval workout and turn it into an endurance ride. Some workout highlights for this week. So the swim, we don't really need to look at because it's a workout that's very familiar to you, or quite familiar to you at least. You've done similar workouts before with 50s at best average effort. Although here you will be doing quite a number of them. We're up to what is this, 24, 28, 30 times 50. So that is a big chunky set of 1500 meters, and you can't quite do them as hard as you have been doing perhaps some like really fast 50s with a lot less volume in the past. But yeah, it's a pacing workout as well as a VO2 max workout in that sense. So make sure that you pace that well, and just basically swimming those 50s at kind of a 90 95% effort, 90 to 95% effort, and then you will be able to make it through all of them, I'm sure. Actually, 95 should be fine because 30 seconds is quite a long rest, so an RPE of 9. Then in terms of the bike and run intervals, so they all have the same structure or similar structure at least. On the bike, we have in this first workout, we have a repetition or a block here that is 7.5 minutes long, and it consists of 10 repetitions of 30 seconds at 120 to 130% of FTP, and 15 seconds a kind of easy spinning. And so that is a very short recovery, almost non-existent, but it's still there. And this is a hard workout for sure, but it's important, I think, to keep in mind you might be tempted to go and absolutely smash this at 150% of FTP because you see 30 seconds and you think that, well, I should be doing that much harder. But actually consider how short the recoveries are, and that in each of these blocks you will be getting in 5 minutes of work with very limited recovery. So if you do this at 130% of FTP, you should be quite happy with yourself. And then if you still feel that it's too easy, then maybe increase in the second or third set, but not before that. So that's the structure of the bike short intervals. And then on the Sunday, we have a similar structure, but instead of 10 repetitions of 30-15 in each block, we have 9 repetitions of 40-20 in each block. So it becomes even slightly more demanding. Those 10 extra seconds do make a big difference, actually. And this one as well is at a slightly higher intensity with, slightly lower intensity to reflect the longer duration or lower intensity range, at least in terms of it could be from 115% rather than 120%, but still it goes up to 130%, just as we saw above or saw before for the Wednesday bike workout. And the run workout is similar, but we don't go quite as hard as on the bike, in that it will definitely feel as hard because it's running, and running generally feels harder than biking, even for runners. But we do 30 seconds on, 30 seconds kind of easy or moderate in between. And we do 12 repetitions in each block. And that is because we only have one run workout this week where we're really moving the needle, which is this one, whereas on the bike we have 2. So, and also because we have the 30 seconds recoveries, we can get a little bit more time in zone and do more repetitions. So, but the same thing applies there. Just go at kind of a 90% effort to make sure that you can do this whole thing for 36 times. That's quite a lot. That's 18 minutes of really hard running. So it's always smart to start maybe on the conservative side a little bit and work yourself into a workout and see, and then you can always increase the pace as you go along. This applies for all of these workouts if they're kind of new in terms of structure to you and you're not used to doing things like workouts like this before. Then make sure you work yourself into it in the first 2 intervals and see what pacing strategy seems to work for you and seems to be one where you can actually complete the workout. But that's it for this week. I hope you have a good one, and I'll talk to you next week.